Now what I can also do is I can create a small square shape inset right here in the middle. And let's see how I can do that. Well, I want firstly to select all of these rectangles in the middle, not the ones to the sides, but all of these in the middle. And one way I can do it is select these 4 in the very middle and then expand my selection. So how can I do that? I'm going to press T to go into my top view. And while in polygon selection mode, I'm going to select these 4 polygons. So click on one, hold down Control, click the other, the third one, and the fourth one. Okay, now I want to expand this selection to all of the outer polygons, and I can do that by simply going into the selection and clicking on Grow. I click on Grow once more, and now all of these polygons have been selected. What I want to do is add an inset. So again, just not clicking on the Inset button, but on the Inset settings. You can find it under the Edit Polygons menu in Modify panel. So Inset settings. And I don't need an inset of 2 centimeters, 0.5 centimeters should suffice. And I'm just going to click Apply. So now what the inset has done is it has created a ring of polygons in the inner side of this entire selection that I have. And what I can do is indent, create sort of an indent that goes to the inside of my table with these polygons. So how can I do that? How can I select this small number of polygons? Well, first off, let's just click on the Grow button again underneath the selection so that all of these, even these newly created polygons, become selected. And I just want to deselect the polygons in the middle. So while in top view, pressing T to go in top view if I'm not here, press Q to go into the selection mode, hold down Alt to select multiple polygons, and then just select all of the polygons in the middle, apart from the small ring that I've created. And you can see that only these polygons remain selected. And with this, I want to create an inner bevel, just like a small channel that's going to be on the top part of my table. I'm going to go into my perspective view by hitting P on my keyboard. I'm going to zoom in to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to hit my bevel settings, and I want it to be an inner bevel, so not a value of 0.5 but a negative 0.5 for the bevel height. And I need to reduce the amount of my bevel outline. So let's say that a value of negative 0.2 and a height of a negative 0.5 centimeters. That should just create a small channel right in the middle of my table so that it's not just a flat surface. And I'm going to hit the OK button. Okay, let's see how our model is looking so far. I'm going to press 4 on my keyboard to exit the polygon selection tool, and I'm going to press F4 to hide my edges. Now I can see what this model looks like so far. The next thing that I want to do is I want to add a chamfer to some of my edges. What that means is, let's press F4 again. Some of these, especially let's say these ones right here, are really hard corners, and those are not going to look really nice. One reason for that is because of the lighting, because with sharp corners like this, the lighting is going to look really unrealistic. And second thing is that no objects in real life are like perfect. They all have at least a small rounding corner, because nothing is absolutely perfect if produced by man. So we want to add a small corner right here, not a corner, but a small, let's say a chamfer, so it's more rounded out and more lifelike. So let's go and create a chamfer on this bottom side right here. And the way I can do that is I can go into my edge selection tool by pressing the number 2 on my keyboard, then selecting, or better yet, double clicking on this edge right here, and it's going to select all of the edges in this line, but I need to do it for each side. So I've selected it right here. I'm going to hold down Control and double click on this as well. and go around, double click on this edge, go around, hold down Control and double click on this. So what I should have is all of these bottom outer edges selected. Let's just zoom in so that you can see what's going to happen. And let's go into the chamfer options, which you can find under the Edit Edges window in the Modify panel. So again, I'm just not going to click on the chamfer button, but the settings right next to it. It's going to ask the chamfer edge amount, how many polygons I want to edit, and so forth. So the 2.5 centimeters is definitely too much. So the chamfer edge, I think, should be a smaller value, something along the lines of, let's say, I think that 0.05 should be okay. So 0.05. And it's going to ask how many polygons I want to add, but I believe that at this point just one should suffice. And I'm going to hit OK. What it's done is that it's created this one more polygon right here, and it sort of curved out this edge, so it isn't just a flat corner, very spiky one, but it has sort of a round effect to it. I can do the same for the edges right here, and I'm going to do it for all three edges. Double click on the top edges, and again I'm just going to need to do it for all four sides. So hold down Control, double click, rotate, hold down Control, double click, and come to think of it, I can actually do it for these three edges, or these three, let's say, circles of edges. I can do it at the same time. So I'm going to hold down Control, select these as well. With these, I don't need to go around. It's going to select the entire ring, and then again, hold down Control, select these by double clicking. And now I can apply a chamfer to all of these three rings. So I'm just going to click on the chamfer settings, and the settings that I had previously, 0.05 for that chamfer amount, should be a-okay, and I'm just going to press OK. So as you can see, now these, instead of having like really rough corners, I have sort of rounded out corners, which is really cool and I really like them. And let's see if I can apply a chamfer to these corners as well. So I'm going to double click on this corner, just check whether everything is selected. So far so good. And I'm going to do it for all of these corners. I'm going to select these as well, hold down Control, double click, rotate, hold down Control, double click, rotate again, Control, double click. Okay, now I want to apply a chamfer here as well. So I'm going to click on it. And I think these settings should suffice, so I'm going to hit OK. But now we have sort of an issue that we have to deal with. Everything looks okay, so my corners are no longer rough as they were. I can just check that. I'm going to press the number 2 to go outside of the X selection mode and hit F4 to hide my edges. So these corners aren't as rough as they were. They have sort of a rounding out at the bottom, which is really cool and which I like. But the thing is, and I'm going to return to my edge spaces mode by pressing F4, is that these polygons on the top, these corner polygons, are no longer quads, they are now n-gons. What does that mean? So let's just go into polygon selection mode by pressing 4 on my keyboard and selecting one of these, then holding down Control and hitting on the vertex button. That's going to show me how many vertices this polygon has. And this polygon has 5 vertices, which means that it's a 5-sided polygon. And that's not something which is good if we're going to go and create animations for this or import it into a game engine. So what we need to do is sort of convert this to a 4-sided polygon. There are many ways in which we can go about it, but one way which I find is possible here is to connect this vertex right here with the adjacent vertex on the other edge. So just cut through this polygon, slice through it, and as you can see, if I take this vertex and slice all the way to this edge, it's going to create a new edge, and the polygon on top is going to have 4 vertices, and this thin polygon is going to have 4 vertices as well. So I'm going to connect this vertex with the adjacent one on the other side, and that's, let me just zoom in, and that's going to be this one. So let's see how I can do it. I'm going to go into my top view by pressing T on my keyboard and go into default shading from my wireframe by pressing F3. I'm going to press F4 to show my edges. And okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to use the cut tool to perform this cut. I'm going to zoom in on the bottom right corner, and underneath the Edit Geometry drop down in the Modify panel, I have this cut option. I'm going to click on that. You can see that my cursor has changed, so now it looks sort of like a rectangle with a scalpel on it. And I'm going to hover over this vertex right here, and as I hover over it, you can see that my cursor is changing as well. So I hover and click, and you can see as I start dragging out, it asks me basically where to I want to cut. I want to zoom out with my scroll wheel, go all the way to the top, and then connect or cut all the way to this vertex right here. The cool thing is that this cut tool actually snaps to the nearest vertex. So as I connect here the shading, which is sort of all weird here, if I connect it becomes really nice. And my cursor also changes when I hover over this vertex. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to right click once so that I can continue cutting from another point. But at this point, I'm just going to right click once more to go out of the cut tool, just because I want to demonstrate what we've done here. So we've cut from this vertex right here to the other one, the adjacent one on the other side. We've created this small polygon strip going all the way down the side. Now, it doesn't look like much, but if we go into our polygon selection tool by clicking 4, and select this polygon right here, the big one, hold down Control and click on the vertices button, you can see that now we have 4 vertices selected, which means, and I press 4 again to go into my polygon selection, that this polygon has 4 vertices and not 5 as it used to. And let's just click on the new polygon that we created, the really thin one right here. If I click on that, hold down Control and click on the vertex button, this one has 4 vertices as well. So for the middle one, I don't need to check because this obviously is 4-sided, and this one is as well because it has parallel sides left, right, and top and bottom. Let's just check on the top whether it's the same situation. So think 4 to go into polygon selection, selecting a polygon, hold on Control, click on the vertex, and you can see 4 vertices selected. Again, clicking 4 to go into my polygon selection, zooming in and selecting this thin stripe we created, holding down Control, vertex, and you can see 4 vertices selected, which means that we've divided these 5-sided polygons into a series of 4-sided polygons or quads, which is something that we wanted. Now we need to perform the same action on the other side and on the bottom side as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's press T to go into my top view, zoom in to the bottom left corner, and with my vertices selection tool active, go into my cut tool, go to this vertex right here, click on that, zoom out, and then go to the top and click on this vertex right here. So I'm just going to click on it. Then I'm going to right click because I want to continue cutting but from a different point at the bottom. I'm going to click B on my keyboard to move to the bottom. So now I'm actually at the bottom, and if you're not certain whether you're at the bottom or the top, you just check here, it says bottom, and I can also just rotate, and you can see my legs right here. So just press B again to go to the bottom, go to the bottom left corner. So just select this vertex right here, zoom out with my scroll wheel and then click on this vertex right here. Then right click again, so that we can continue cutting from another point. And we're going to go to the bottom right corner, right here. Select this, zoom out, go to the top edge, zoom in, left click on this vertex right here, then do a right click, and then a right click again to exit the cut tool. And now we divided all of these polygons that were 5-sided polygons into a series of 4-sided polygons. So our topology is nice and clean. I'm going to press P to go into my perspective view and to just check what we've done so far. Let's hit 1 on my keyboard to exit vertex selection and hit F4 to hide my edge faces. And this is what my table looks like. From here, I can go and create more insets, more bevels. I can add more edges if I want. I can do more chamfers and do all sorts of different things. But for now, I'm quite satisfied with the way this table looks.